Okay, here we go. Today I am going to take my very first Zepbound KwikPen injection. I'm 67 years old. I'm starting this GLP-1 weight loss journey as a senior, and I'm documenting the process as I go along because there are going to be a lot of people over 65 that may be starting GLP-1 soon because of the Medicare Bridge Program. And they're wondering what weight loss injections might be like and how it's going to make them feel. So just thought, my experiences might be helpful to other people, and also documenting what I'm doing as I go along, I hope will help keep me on track. So I've never injected myself before with any kind of needle. This is going to be a brand new experience for me. I think this was probably the biggest fear that I had, was using the needle. I have no idea what that will be like, and I have no idea how the Zepbound is going to make me feel. But, you know, I really, really need to lose some weight. I've been on a program at the nutritional center at Austin Heart Hospital at St. David's for a year and a half. And when I started out, I was at 296 pounds at the end of 2024. And then I got down to 279 in the spring of 2025. And when I went back recently, I was back up to 293, even though I think my eating habits are better than they've ever been in any other time in my life. And so that's super frustrating and super scary because, can you go through life weighing almost 300 pounds if you want to try to live another 20 years and you're 67 years old? Highly doubtful. So, other than a little high blood pressure and a little bit high on my cholesterol, not too much, just went to the doctor about a month ago. I don't have any health issues. I don't have bad knees, So I feel like if I can get on this program and I can really stick with it and get some significant results, it could make a huge difference in my life in so many different ways. So I was willing to pay out of pocket for the GLP-1s when I went to my doctor about a couple weeks ago and said I wanted to go on them. She did submit it to my insurance company and they denied it. And then she said, we can get the drugs for you through Lilly Direct. That was $300 a month. And then I did a little research and saw that this Medicare program is getting ready to start July 1st, which supposedly is going to make weight loss drugs available for people for $50 a month for a 1 month supply. I did get a comment on my last video from somebody that said they had hoped to use the GLP-1 Bridge Program to get weight loss drugs, but they were already on Zepbound prescribed by their doctor for sleep apnea, and that made them ineligible. So there are some caveats to being able to be eligible for this program. And right now, nobody really knows, how it's going to work till it actually starts. And anyway, my doctor said that I could go ahead and get started, that I could pick up samples at the clinic, which I did last week. As soon as I told her I wanted to go on the weight loss program, I did go ahead and start calorie counting at 1,450 calories a day, and I've stuck with it. I've lost about 5 pounds. But the point is about taking the Zepbound. So somebody might say, well, if you can lose 5 pounds in a couple of weeks, why do you need the Zepbound? But I really was white knuckling it a few times, just like not to eat, knowing I was getting ready to start these jabs. I was like, well, I want to do everything I can to be as successful as possible. And I've lost, 5 to 20, 25 pounds lots of times. I probably lost hundreds of pounds over. I think maybe the lowest I've gotten in the past 10 years is maybe like 265 for a couple months and then went back up. The other thing about taking the Zepbound, besides the appetite suppression, is that apparently when you are obese, your fat tissue can have chronic low-grade inflammation. And this is something they mentioned at the doctor's office as a reason why they wanted me to go on the Zepbound. Basically, the fatter you are, the more inflamed your fat cells are, and the harder it's going to be to lose weight. I picked up the samples last week, but I waited until today, which is Monday, to start because we're going out of town on Friday, and I didn't want my second injection to be the day we were going out of town because I didn't know how I would feel. So now I'm ready to get started. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing I bought, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's buying stuff on Amazon. So the first thing I bought was this sharps container, because here in Austin you can put all your medical waste or your used needles in a sharps container, and then when you're done you can tape it up and just put it in the trash. Okay, now when I went to pick up the drugs, they came in a brown paper bag, which if you're a boomer, this seems completely appropriate. I won't even go into all the boomer jokes about brown paper bags and what you might possibly pick up in one. So here I'm going to open up the bag, and I've got my squished box with my Zepbound KwikPen, and you do have to keep this in the refrigerator. Though if you're going out of town, apparently you can keep it out of the refrigerator for a fairly significant amount of time. Okay. Nano pen needles. Oh, also, first thing you're supposed to do is wash your hands. So let's give that a whirl. I have a little Wet Wipe antibacterial. Let's try that. Preparing to inject Zepbound. Okay, step one, wash your hands. So did that. Always a good idea. Pull the pen cap straight off. Well, I did that. I didn't need directions, so how to figure that out. Wipe the red inner seal with an alcohol swab. So here's the alcohol. Gonna put it here. Gonna clean this off. Okay. Here is the needle. And I guess you screw the needle on. Pull off the outer needle shield and keep it. Okay. Just pull off the inner needle shield, put in your household trash, which I guess is this. Oh my God. Look at this needle. Like it's a real needle. Okay, we'll go ahead and, it says household trash, but we'll put it in our sharps container. We don't need this anymore. Let's put that over there. Priming your pen. Prime before each weekly injection. Priming removes air from the cartridge and makes sure your pen is working correctly. Slowly turn the dose knob until you hear 2 clicks. You know, I really can't believe they just hand these things out and say, here, go inject yourself with this. Seriously. Anyone who has ever watched a medical TV show knows this routine. I can see some medicine on here now. What am I supposed to do? Ooh. Okay, I just squirted out. I think what I was supposed to do is once I put the needle on, I was supposed to click it twice and then prime it while it still showed 0 here, and then do the thing with the medication squirting out, and then I turn it all the way for the injection. But I feel like I'm at that point. So right now it says 1 in the little window here, because that shows what dose you're on, because there's 4 doses. Choose an injection site. You or another person can inject the needle in your thigh or stomach at least 2 inches from the belly button. Okay, you know what? And see, that's the thing about those other single dose pens. You see them have kind of like a gray suction cuppy looking thing on the end. Those are single dose. So you just line them up and push. There you go. You see Charles Barkley or somebody just whamming that into his arm in the end. Okay, so ready to go. 1 in the window. I prime the needle. I shouldn't have any air bubbles, which, as we all know from watching medical shows, is the sure way to kill yourself. You technically have to inject it in that vein, so I probably should be okay with the fat. Sure, air bubble in your fat kind of just, I don't know. You'd probably be okay with that. All right, so shirt up, pants down. Here's my belly. Okay, we should still, they actually don't. Did they say to swab before you inject? When they say you need a alcohol swab, they're talking about for the end of the pen. Okay, and I think I should have to see this. I can see the nub. This is, I tell you what, I this is so scary. Oh my God, I'm such a baby. Oh, well, that didn't hurt at all. All right. So now, as I'm pushing it, I see it's all swirling, swirling, swirling down like a corkscrew. And now the one is in the window. And it said to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, take it out. Well, I guess it went in because I don't see medicine all over my belly. And there's just this teeny tiny little hole and this teeny tiny little dot of blood. Do I even need the Band-Aid? I mean, seriously, this hole is like the smallest hole you've ever seen. It's like a micro hole. But Band-Aid on. All right. Pants up. If you do not think you received the full dose, do not start over or repeat the injection. See troubleshooting section for more information. Well, I don't see any medicine, so it must have gone somewhere. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay. Needle is gone now. Sharps container. Replace the pen cap. Okay. Okay, so I think that's it. And first dose taken, and when they start you out, they put you on 2.5. Some people think that you don't need to keep increasing the dosage every month just on a schedule, that you could kind of see how your weight loss is going and how you feel. So I'll have to talk to the doctor about that. One thing about this channel is that I am on this nutritional counseling program at the hospital, so I have access to getting lots of questions answered, and I'll be going back to the doctor at the end of the month, and I will actually be seeing the actual doctor. You don't see her very often. Usually you talk to a physician's assistant, and then they do occasionally, like every 3 months, this in-body scan where you stand on this special scale and it measures, all kinds of things besides just your weight. So they're going to do that when I go at the end of June. So that'll give me lots more information there. So how do I feel? I think I feel okay. Yeah. Just kidding. Okay, well, 24 hours from now, I'll know how that was, and a week from now, I'll know a lot more. And so here we go. It's all happening now. See you later.